For those of you here 10 minutes ago, I was laughing when Juan Hernandez asked people to raise their hands if they were conservative, liberal, etc. For most of my life, I went to meetings when you asked that question and asked how many Republicans, everyone raised their hand. Because I ran conventions and mass meetings for Republican candidates trying to get nominated for office. And one thing that applies to this meeting, now that I've gone into this nonpartisan world, is when we left a convention and people were enthusiastic, we felt like we'd win. You know, everyone thinks now, well, you have to be on the side of money to win. And when we left and people were kind of lukewarm and it was a nice get-together, we never won. The candidate lost. And I think there's a lesson here because I've heard so much enthusiasm upstairs through the kickoff meetings, so much enthusiasm doing meetings like this across the country if you set up 37 states, that we somehow have to get from 10 years ago when everyone said money in politics really isn't a problem, to somehow we've gotten to, it's such a big problem we can't possibly overcome it, let's give up. The big money's on the other side by definition. So what kind of examples did I see on how winning without money always worked, how the grassroots worked? Well, I started off running Republican campaigns in Virginia. We were so outnumbered, and I was naive coming out of college, and I said, how come my candidates always have $25,000 and our opponent always has $200,000? And I was told, well, you idiot, you don't even have enough votes to uphold a veto if you ever did elect a Republican governor. Oh, therefore, you know, no one's going to give you money. They're all paying for things. And boy, as a 23-year-old, you go, wow, that isn't what I studied in political science. This is all about picking the winner. But we went in, and over 2 cycles, we had so little money, we had to be grassroots people. We had to learn to work fairs. We had to learn to, in the summer, do things. We had to learn that if we couldn't door to door, we had to meet people at the county dump on a Saturday where everyone was dropping off their trash. You know, we need to go out of here and have a multiplier effect because the people are out there. Everyone out there is fed up. They just don't believe there's a way to win. And until you get to them and reach out to them and they say, oh, there's an organization that can do it, I really have a chance, they're going to be sitting there grumpy on the side saying, I wish big money wasn't controlling everything. We did this in Alabama too. Got there, we were completely outnumbered, and we won the race. And then after years of doing this, I had my craziest idea. I was sitting here in Auburn, Alabama, and I got a call from a guy named Dave Brad I'd been recruiting to run against Eric Cantor, the majority leader in a primary. For those of you who don't know, no one had ever defeated a majority leader in a primary in the history of the United States. And he said, if you can get up here quickly and convince my wife and me that I can win, I'll take your advice and run against Eric Cantor. I got in a car. I drove 9 hours to Richmond, Virginia, no speeding tickets, and spent 4 hours convincing him to win. And we had 200 people knocking on doors. He was a great candidate. His wife was a social media whiz. And after 3 months, there was so much enthusiasm behind their campaign that we had raised $18,000. Cantor had $5 million, so it seemed a little unfair. But this was the ultimate test. But we had the enthusiasm. We had 200 people knocking on doors. You know, we could do it, and we overcame that money. A little money came in at the end. And Steve Hilton, who's here, was on his Fox News show recently. You know, before Fox News, Steve had this crazy idea that Brexit could win in England. So let's keep in mind, you may not always like the results of a grassroots win. You may decide, well, that was a good one, that was a bad one. But the point was getting to a system where your vote matters instead of just the big dollars. And so having overcome some of these impossible obstacles where it was money against grassroots, which I would argue is whether or not a democracy is working, because by definition, grassroots should win democratic processes. That's just how it should work. The constituency of a voter should be picking the elected official, not the other way around. And so let's look at some of the same obstacles we took to take back our republic and the ways we can think through these things. Well, first thing was I started talking about we need a federal elections commission that actually enforces some laws. I mean, who cares even if you did pass laws if nothing will ever be enforced, because no matter what happens, if a Democrat proposes something, the Republicans all vote against it and vice versa. And then I got a bright idea. You know something? The Facebook wasn't disclosing all these Russian ads that were run. Light bulb goes off. Hey, Democrats hate the Russians, Republicans hate Facebook. Why don't we try saying that Facebook has to disclose ads? We won a historic vote last month. No one saw this coming. We actually went there and over the course of the day got FEC to say you have to disclose on Facebook ads. That's a huge victory because you don't want groups channeling in money. It has to be disclosed at least. The voters have to have a right to know. And then I was told if you put a bill in Congress, you'll get one Republican. His name's Walter Jones. He lives in North Carolina. No other Republican backs any campaign finance. We put a bill in to keep foreign money out. We got 53 to sign it and literally ran out of time. So we do need to show victories. That's come up. We need to just get people. We no longer have to convince people this is a terrible system, that the system is rigged. We have to convince them that we can unrig the system to take it back. So let's take some of these victories, get out there, and be that person that finds enough people that are sitting out there and want to turn over this system. They go, oh my gosh, there's an organization, whether it's Take Back Our Republic, another one you're working with, I can be part of something. We can win this. It may take time. And then whether it's a constitutional amendment to stop Citizens United or anything else, then it's suddenly winnable. The people are there, but there's no cavalry coming over the hill. It's the people in this room, in this building, that will go out and win this battle. Thank you.